There's stage 12, 211 kilometres, starting in Tonnerre, cruelly close to Paris, which the riders won't actually see until a week on Sunday, those that survive, and containing no fewer than 6 categorised climbs, including a steep third cap, the Côte de Bourmont, 41 kilometres from the end in Vittel. It's an ideal day for a breakaway to spoil Mark Cavendish's plans, but Colombia are masters at timing the catch. Now there's the least high-profile race leader we've had for a good long while, Rinaldo Nocentini, keeping his nose and his jersey clean and hoping that everyone forgets about him so that he can survive until the mountains. The man who's been telling us all along that he won't contest the intermediate sprints on this tour suddenly appeared at the front to take on Tour Hushovd at the first hotspot. Mark Cavendish won it easily in the end, that is to say, Tour realised he was beaten and sat up. So 6 points for Cavendish, 4 for Hushovd. Public confirmation that Mark Cavendish is prepared to work harder for the green jersey than he's been willing to admit thus far. Shortly afterwards, he was seen consulting with his new American life coach, so perhaps that had something to do with it. Now, it was a high-quality break that formed today. In it was Spain's Egoy Martinez in the polka dot jersey of the King of the Mountains leader. The rest of the escape group was out for a stage win.
Those are the two leaders. The leaders are Nicky Sorensen, who is on the front at the moment. In second position, Sylvain Calzati. In the group of 5 behind Martinez, Pellizotti, Poriol, Laurent Lefebvre and Marcus Foten. They've pulled it back to just 7 seconds according to Race Radio, so it really is not very much. And if you look at the leading two there, Phil, although Calzati is out of the saddle, they seem to be losing a little bit of their organisation, and Nicky Sorensen goes again.
Well, he came from the slipstream there, he really kicked, and Calzati said, well, that's it for me, I'm going to wait now. So it's one versus the rest. Look at that acceleration of Nicky Sorensen, and yet you saw his face as we did. He looked as though he was absolutely out of it, and he's kicked really hard.
Bang, that's not taking any prisoners at all. He looked a lot stronger than Sylvain Calzati. His legs were going over very nicely indeed. He had a high cadence. He's now hitting 5 kilometres to go.
39th place overall, Nicky, 10 minutes and 36 seconds behind. Takeoff 6 minutes 24, and you're lifting him into the top 20 in the Tour tonight. But he'll trade that for a stage win right now, as Calzati is swept up by the chase at 5 kilometres to go. Calzati rejoins the chase. It's 6 versus 1, and the yellow jersey group is going to have to come home together today at the back.
Well, 6 versus 1, but this is a very strong one. Nicky Sorensen now alone. He doesn't have to hold anything back. He will dig into his suitcase of courage, Phil, to pull out everything possible to try and get himself to the finish line. He knows that these guys behind will keep working as a solid block, but he knows also that Sylvain Calzati is a spent force. He's got nothing left in his legs here this afternoon, and I think that may well be the killer blow going for the Dane.
Well, he's going to sit at the back there and hope he can recover. Calzati, it's gone out to 20 seconds. They never got that when there were 2 of them, and now it's gone for himself. They're going to have to reorganise here over the top of this little rise. All of the rolling hills here of the Vosges, and a little bit of downhill welcome now by the man who's taken the bull by the horns and he's trying to ride home to his first ever win in a Tour de France.
Well, you notice that before the 5 riders were just holding it. In fact, there's another man, another tragedy at the front, because Remy Poriol cannot take this chase anymore. He's been left behind by the group. Inside of the 4 kilometres to go banner, it's almost up to 30 seconds. Nicky Sorensen now is starting to build a very interesting lead.
He's a tremendous cyclist. This is 7th Tour de France. He's never not finished under the Eiffel Tower in Paris. He's always made home. His best finish was in 2002 when he finished in 20th place, and that could be where he sits tonight if he keeps gaining time.
Well, he's got a long straight behind him now, and the impetus is certainly going out of this group. Calzati is still managing to hold on. Remy Poriol has completely and utterly disappeared from that group. Spent force, he must have dug really deep in to try and help to pull back the 2-man chase group. But unfortunately for him, it looks like it's almost over, because Sorensen does not look like a man that's going to weaken to me.
Now there's got to be reaction. Looks like Pellizotti has found he's now sitting around. A lot of tired riders here, so the 2 riders first and second in the King of the Mountains title are having to go on the flat together. Pellizotti goes over to left, Martinez to the right. Calzati will just take any wheel if he can grab it. He's the rider in blue, and the rider at the back here is Marcus Foten. he was a rider I thought might have won today as well.
Well, Foden, a former wearer of the best young riders jersey a couple of years ago, but this man made both of the moves that counted this afternoon. He made the first move to come out of the group of 7, and then he made the next move to leave Calzati behind. At 3 kilometres to go, he's probably still looking at a 25 to 30 second advantage. 31
seconds. We'll wait and see what the riders do as they go under the banner. 32 at the moment. Out of the saddle, Franco Pellizotti as they head for the 3 kilometre to go banner. 6:26 now to the back group. Well, Sorensen is on with a chance of winning this today for sure. There is 3 kilometres to go. These riders looking at one another because Nicky Sorensen has gone by half a minute under the banner there. And now Marcus Foten, the rider we just mentioned, has attacked.
Lefebvre went actually. B-box. Marcus Foten is stuck at the back there. Same coloured shirt, but a different team. The B-box rider was the one that went straight over the top. Sylvain Calzati now, Phil, he's been popped out of the back. These riders now realising at 3 kilometres to go, this is the last possible chance of a stage victory this afternoon. You don't get this chance very often throughout a career. You cannot lose it. You've got to give everything on the run in towards the finish. Lefebvre round the corner there. Pellizotti has tried a number of times to get out of the front of this group, but he's locked in. They always chase him down. They realise he's probably the strongest man in that group of chasers.
Under 2 kilometres to go now. He's beginning to dream of a stage win here in the Tour de France, as Nicky Sorensen will probably know Lefebvre's taken a dive after the finish, but they're all coming back together down there. Pellizotti's now trying to make last desperate moments. Time running out for this Italian rider who was 3rd in the Giro d'Italia this year. He's been monitored. Once you're in amongst the barriers, you know you're not far from the finish. Nicky comes round that bend there. He's not far from 1 kilometre to go. He's downtown Vittel now.
1.5 kilometres to go. He went round that corner there, Phil. Full tilt, no touching of the brakes at all. He didn't lose any of his impetus at all. He swings around these corners, waiting to hope and see the flamme rouge, the red kite in the sky, and still Laurent Lefebvre ready to have a little go. Igor Martinez comes across the gap and is asked to go through and set the pacemaking. That, though, is not the way you're going to catch this lone leader. The only way they could have caught him was to keep working as a solid block. There is the flamme rouge. 1,000 metres to go for Nicky Sorensen.
1,000 metres for Nicky Sorensen. He's going to win his first ever stage in the Tour de France at the 7th attempt. And he's gone under that banner now and he's running away. Wise man checking out. 34 seconds is the gap. They can't possibly close that down now. Been a tremendous attack. Saxo Bank, remember, they started the Tour de France with a win by Fabian Cancellara. Now they're delivering unexpectedly with Nicky Sorensen.
Well, he deserves the win here, Phil, because he was the one who laid down the foundations for this solo move. He was the one who made the first attack out of the group of 7. He was joined by Sylvain Calzati, and when he felt that Sylvain Calzati was starting to weaken, he hit him hard with a second attack to launch this solo move. Has opened up 30 seconds over the chasers, and he should be able to cruise and enjoy the last 200 or 300 metres.
Through the grimace there, one can see a smile beginning to pop out as he rides up the home straight now. He's about to celebrate his first victory since June last year when he was champion of Denmark. And before that, you go back 4 years. So it's going to be a great moment. He's done enough. He nods to the crowd. It's time for the victory salute now, I think, as Nicky Sorensen delivered a glove blow here for Denmark and for Team Saxo Bank, even if the Norwegian flag seems to be welcoming him home and down the home straight. This is the way you win stages. You never give up thinking about it. The break went 78 kilometres out at 211 kilometres. It's the moment of glory. Nicky Sorensen takes it.
Well, he really enjoyed that victory. He's got a clear finishing straight behind him, Phil, and it's going to be a sprint for second place. Leading the sprint at the moment, lime green jersey on the shoulders of Franco Pellizotti. Behind him, Igor Martinez. Behind him, Laurent Lefebvre, Sylvain Calzati and Marcus Foten. They are going to sprint for the worst position on a stage of the Tour de France, and Pellizotti's already had a second place.
And he always seems to get himself in the wrong position, poor old Franco Pellizotti, because now he's being obliged to lead these riders to the line. Lefebvre could have been expected to make the move as well, because the French are having their best tour for years. And Laurent Lefebvre is going to be challenged by Igor Martinez if he's made it the wrong move, but I think he's too strong here. The B-box boy will be very upset he allowed that man to escape, but he gets second place today, Laurent Lefebvre. I think Pellizotti, Marcus Foten third and fourth.
Well, now as we look at the winner coming across the line one more time here, Phil, Nicky Sorensen, a great victory for him, for Denmark and for Team Saxo Bank. We've got to wait for the big bunch sprint down towards the finish line, because although it's only for 8th place, the man who wears the green jersey, Mark Cavendish, still has to come out and sprint against the likes of Tyler Farah, and of course he has to sprint against the big god of thunder, Thor Hushovd, who is second in that points competition.
And it looks as though Hushovd has a very good position here, and Cavendish is right in there, locked onto the wheel of the rider from Cervelo, as now the move will come up on the outside as well, as this looks like Bernardi is also in the mix here. The skill Shimano boys with Kenny Van Hummel trying to break in. Now Cavendish is finding himself in a little bit of traffic here. Now he switched over to his right and he's seen the space. Hushovd goes head to head, but Cavendish again has seen the finish. He is so fast as he comes up to the line.
Well, no contest at all there. He didn't even have to use his team to lead out the sprint, and there's a problem there. This is Cadel Evans.
And what's happened here?
He's crashed. You can see the handlebars are a little bit touched up, and it must have been on the run-in out towards the finish. I'm trying to see if it's in this corner here. Coming around the corner there, you can see there's a crash there, and that looks like Levi Leipheimer went down as well. That was on the run-in towards the finisher. We're just getting these pictures sent back to us, Phil, and I don't know if it's before or after the 3 kilometres to go sign. He would be a lot more urgently pedalling to the finish if he'd crashed outside the 3 kilometre point.
So the 3 kilometre rule has saved the bacon. It's a fairly new rule, that it used to be the last kilometre. They've extended it now to 3 kilometres, probably as well today for Cadel.
Yes, well inside the 3 kilometre mark for Evans and Leipheimer, and no apparent physical damage from either crash, so just a moment's panic on an otherwise tranquil day for the favourites. Now there's the familiar result of the bunch sprint, only the numbers have been changed. Mark Cavendish beating Thor Hushovd in the race for 8th place today, 18 green jersey points as opposed to 17 for 9th. Evans and Leipheimer, as you can see, placed well down on the stage but losing no time on Armstrong, Contador, Wiggins and company. Well, you've got to pick your days on the tour, and Nicky Sorensen chose perfectly to bag by far the best win of his career to date.
I had the opportunity, and wow, great feeling. Yeah.
Too busy racing to rehearse his post-stage interview technique, that's what we like. And Mark Cavendish passing no milestones today in the end, but passing Thor Hushovd twice when it mattered, and his lead in the points competition now just into double figures. Well, apart from being considerably sweatier than when they started the day, no change for the men at the top. Ronaldo Nocentini holds on to his 6-second lead over Alberto Contador. Lance Armstrong is third, 8 seconds back. Then it's Levi Leipheimer, Bradley Wiggins, Andreas Klöden and Tony Martin, all within a minute of the race lead. Christian van der Velde 8th at 1:24.